Hello and welcome back to the Steve Ball Show. This week, we're going to start off with Steve's picks, where I pick the NFL games. The first game is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this game will be a back and forth game, where both have a lot of offense because they both have a lot of good teams. I think it will go down to the final wire where Kansas City goes down the field. I don't think they score a touchdown, but I do think they score hit with the Harrison Butker 3 points. I think they win the game. I think it'll be 38-35, where the Chiefs win in a back and forth game. The next game is the Patriots and Steelers. I think this game will be a lower scoring game because the Steelers are a young team, and so are the Patriots. I think Najee Harris, if he plays, will have an okay game, but it's going to be a really really slow scoring game because there's not a lot of offense in both those teams. But I think the Steelers will go down the field and win the game with a touchdown. I think they win the game 21-20 is the final score in that game. The next game is the Bengals versus Cowboys. This game, I think the Bengals will have the advantage because Dak Prescott's hurt. I think the Cowboys will once again play bad because they lost Dak Prescott and they didn't do anything in the offseason. I think the Bengals will bounce back from their tough loss they had against the Steelers. I think that Andy Dalton and Jamar Chase will have a great game, and I think they're going to blow out the Cowboys. I think Joe Mixon will play well, and he will have a great game. All around, I think it's going to be a great game for the Bengals receivers, and I think the defense will have a great game. I think they will sack Cooper Rush 5 times. I think they will win in a blowout, 45-10, because the Cowboys are just horrible right now in this year. So the Bengals will win that game 45-10. The next game is the Panthers and Giants. Baker Mayfield got off to a bad start, a mediocre start. So I shouldn't say bad, but he got off to a mediocre start in his Panthers debut. But I think he bounces back against the Giants, who got lucky last week on a gutsy call to go for a 2-point conversion. I think the Panthers bounce back. I think Baker Mayfield has a great bounce back game, and Christian McCaffrey plays well. So I think they win that game. I don't think it'll be high scoring. I think it'll be a low scoring game where the Panthers win 28-24. I think the Panthers will win against the Giants this week. The next game is the Jets and Browns. I think the Jets are not that great. They're a really young team, and Joe Flacco's past his prime. So I think the Browns are way better. They have Amari Cooper, and they have Nick Chubb, and I think they still have Njoku. So and they have a good defense too. So I think the Browns will have a big advantage on the Jets. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a 2-score game where the Browns win. I think they'll win 35-21. I think they're going to win that game. They're the better of the two teams. So yeah. Next is the Colts and Jaguars. Pretty sure the Colts, they tied the Texans. I think they'll have a bounce back game, and so do the Jaguars. Lost to the Commanders, but I think I'm going to say the upset. I'm going to say the Jaguars finally get a win. They won the last. I'm pretty sure they lost. They won in the last year at the end of the season, but I think Trevor Lawrence starts to find himself, starts to find his rhythm. I think he starts to find his rhythm with Marvin Jones and Evan Ingram. I think Travis Etienne will have a good game, and so will James Robinson. So I think they win in a close game. They played a close game last week, but I think it's going to be another close game where they win. I'm going to say they're going to go down the field and score a winning field goal. So they win that game. I say they win the game 30 to 27. The Jaguars win against the Colts. The next game is the Dolphins, the Ravens. Tua played really well last week, even though people said it was a blowout. It was only a two-score game. So I think they continue in their because they upgraded their offense. I think that Tyreek Hill has a good game. So does Tua again, and I think this will be a bounce. I think this will be a breakout game for Mike Gesicki, where he has a lot of. I say he'll have 2 touchdowns. And I think the Ravens are a good team, so they've got a lot of good defense and got a lot of good offense. So, but I still do think the Dolphins, they're going to be surprised again. I think they're going to win 35 to 28 this week against the Ravens. Next one is Buccaneers and Saints. The Saints won on the last second field goal last week against the Falcons. I think they still play okay. They're not that great of a team. Even though they're 1-0, they're still not that great, I don't think. I think the Buccaneers have the advantage. Even though Tom Brady is looking old, I say they win. The Bucs have a good defense, but I still think they win that game. The Bucs win that game. I say it's going to be 23 to 17. The Bucs will win that game. Next is Commanders and Lions. I know Carson Wentz played okay last week, but this week I think he's going to be back to being bad. I think he's going to have mistakes. I think he's going to throw 2 or 3 interceptions against the Lions. The Lions played pretty well against my boys, the Eagles. So I think that the Lions will continue and they will get their first win. I think they will win this game with 2-score games. I think they win 42 to 35 against the Commanders. Jared Goff's going to have an okay game, and so is Ahmad St. Brown. And DeAndre Swift's going to have a good game too, and so is the defense. So I think the Lions bounce back from that loss and win against the Commanders. The next game is Seahawks and 49ers. The Seahawks got lucky this week on Monday night against the Broncos. I don't think that's going to happen again. Geno Smith is too inconsistent to be a good quarterback in the NFL, so I don't think he's going to do well this week. I think he struggles. And Trey Lance, he's going to be benched after the first quarter. And Jimmy Garoppolo is going to come in, and he's going to lead the 49ers to a win. I was surprised they lost to the Bears last week, the Niners. That's not going to happen again. If George Kittle plays, he's the difference. He's a really good tight end. So, but if not, Deebo Samuel needs to show up. And so does their running back and their defense. So I say the 49ers win this game in a bounce-back game, a game they need. I think they win this game 28 to 21. The 49ers win. Next game is the Falcons and Rams. The Saints got lucky. The Falcons almost won that game. I don't think they will win this game against the Rams. The Rams lost in a blowout to the Bills last week. So I think the Rams will bounce back. They are the Super Bowl champions for a reason. They didn't get there by luck last year. I think Matthew Stafford has a bounce back game. So does Cooper Kupp. Sorry, and the Broncos. Not the Broncos. My bad. The Rams defense plays better. I say they blow out the Falcons, and show that they are the Super Bowl champs for a reason. I say they win 42 to 17 against the Falcons. The next game is the Cardinals and Raiders. The Raiders lost a hard one last week, and I think that continues because the Cardinals lost. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals lost also. I could be wrong. I say the Cardinals bounce back. I think they will blow out the Raiders. I think they're going to. Zach Ertz will have a good game, and so will James Conner. He had a good game last week, even though they lost. And I think the defense will have a good game. So I think that the Cardinals will win the game. I say they win 42 to 28. The Cardinals will win against the Raiders. The next game is the Texans and Broncos. This game, I'm going to be picking. I think the Texans will have another good game. I was surprised they well, they tied against the Colts, and they played an okay game. So I think they played a little better. The Broncos, I don't think the new coach, I think his name is Nathaniel Hackett. I don't think he's going to be there past this year. That call that to go for on 4th and 5 was dumb. He should have ran with Russell Wilson. He would have got the first down. They could have won that game. So I think they struggle again, and I think the Texans win by 2 scores. I think they will win 35-21. They'll win that game. The next game is the Packers and Bears. This is a hard one to pick. The Bears won last week, and the Packers lost The Bears won last week, and the Packers lost last week. And I hate to say this, but I think the Bears will just have another okay, mediocre game. And the Packers, I don't think are going to win. I think those receivers are too inconsistent. And until Rodgers and the receivers get on the same page, I do not believe that they will win this game. The defense needs to play better. So until they can figure those things out, I think the Bears will win this game. And I think it'll be low scoring again. I think they'll win 28-24. The Bears will beat the Packers. Sad to say. The next game is the Bills and Titans. This will be a good game. The Bills are good, and the Titans lost by 1 point last week. So I think it'll be back and forth where the Bills come out on top. I think Josh Allen continues to have a great season. I think he will pass for maybe 4 touchdowns this week. Where I think they'll win 35-28. The Bills will win this game. The next game is the last game of the week. Is my boys the Philadelphia Eagles against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings looked good last week. Okay, against the Packers. And Kevin O'Connell looked good in his first game as a head coach for the Vikings. The Eagles looked good. And I think the Eagles will build off this. I'm saying the Eagles will have it's going to be a back and forth game where I think the Eagles will go down the field last minute and win by field goal by Jake Elliott kicking a field goal. So I think they will win 38-35 against the Vikings. Now, my next segment I'm going to do is the fantasy football player of the week to watch, which I think will be Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to have a good game. He's going to get a lot of points. So if you have him as your quarterback, I suggest you start him in your fantasy football lineup. He did well last week. I think he got me 20 to 30 points. If you want to win, I would suggest you start Josh Allen. He's going to have another good game this week. So start Josh Allen. Next topic I'm going to talk about is Cobra Kai. If you haven't seen this season, it's really good. I love how they build. How they built from the last season, where the tournament, and how they show how Terry Silver is trying to expand Cobra Kai, and how he will do anything, even frame his friend for beating up somebody to expand Cobra Kai. And I love how Miyagi-Do and Johnny Lawrence, how they work together to take him down. I love to see how Peyton List's character, Tori, tells the truth and tells Sam that they paid off the ref. And I can't wait to see what they do. If you haven't seen the spoiler, I can't wait to do what they see with the next the national tournament they're gonna do. I forget what it's called. So I can't wait to see. If you haven't watched Cobra Kai season 5, I suggest you go watch it. It's really good. I love how they're building these characters, and I can't wait to see what Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang do together in the tournament. I hope they win the tournament against Cobra Kai, and I can't wait to see how the ex sensei from Cobra Kai. I can't wait to see how that plays into the story. So I can't wait till season 6. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Netflix right now. It came out last week, September 9th. So go out and check Cobra Kai out. The next thing I'm going to talk about is I'm late to playing this game. I started playing last week. I started playing The Last of Us. I like how the story is. Starts off with there's a sickness going around, and then these people get sick, and like they're on quarantine, like kind of like what we were before when we were going through COVID, but not as bad as this. They get like a rash and then they become like these zombie people. It looks like, and I like to see the story line and to see what you have to do to like get things and help this girl out. I forget her name, but you gotta help get her somewhere. And if you haven't played the game, it's pretty good. I'm working my way through the game, so if you haven't played the game, it's called The Last of Us. I think they're going to be doing a television series about it. So it's just a good game. Yeah. The next thing, if you have Disney Plus, I would suggest you go watch Pinocchio. It's really good. I love how Tom Hanks did Geppetto. I love how they did the story, how they made it live action. I love what they did with the character of Pinocchio. The only thing I didn't like was they didn't show Pinocchio become a real boy, and I was looking forward to seeing that. Spoiler, but overall, I give the movie a 10 out of. No, I give the movie a 9 out of 10 because they could have done other things, like with the seeing him become the real boy. But overall, the movie was good. It was family friendly. So if you want a family friendly movie to watch, either now or during the weekend, I suggest if you have Disney Plus to watch Pinocchio. It's a really good movie. Yeah, and that's it. So, thanks for watching my shows. I hope all your teams that you have in NFL, hopefully they win. Besides Washington, the Giants, the Cowgirls, and and the Cheatriots. Hopefully they don't win. But besides that, or the Vikings this week because they play the Eagles. But besides that, hopefully your teams win. And thanks for watching my show, and I'll see you next week, Lord willing.